Welcome, everybody. Again, this is Leslie Wolfe with whaleofanidea.net. And, of course, we've got another very interesting guest. You're going to be able to learn a lot from him, so I insist that you listen. His name is David Oliphant, and he has a book called When All Else Fails, Sell, as in go out and sell stuff. Dave, are you there?
Yes, I'm here, Leslie.
And did I pronounce your last name correctly?
No, Leslie.
Okay.
It's called Oliphant.
Oh, Oliphant. Okay, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Could you go ahead and tell us, might as well start right in, what the book is about and how it has helped a lot of people, and let's just go right into it, if you could, please.
Okay, sure. Well, When All Else Fails, Sell. And by the way, thank you for having me on your show. I dedicated and I focused on the military. I really have an affinity, very strong, positive feeling for our country and all those that serve our country. And so many of the military, when they leave the military, they really can't transition into our society, into the civilian life, and they have trouble keeping a job. Remember, when they're in their service, everything is done. They're trained to be soldiers, and there's time when you're going to eat, there's time when you're going to have playtime, there's time when you're going to march, and time you're going to go to battle. And they come into civilian life, and they can't make that transition so easily. And there aren't, at least it's starting to happen a little now, but when I wrote the book, there weren't that many places where our military can go to help them make the transition into civilian life. So I did a story about Captain Mark Whitby, who led a Humvee caravan with a big-time VIP, and we don't reveal who the VIP is until the end of the book, and a big-time VIP. There was four in the caravan, and they're in Afghanistan, and they get hit by a major firefight. And Captain Mark Whitby, and that group was all Marines, and he, along with three of his men, get very severely wounded, but they wipe out almost 50 of the insurgents who attacked them. And the caravan got away, and nobody in the other three Humvees were killed. They weren't even wounded. And then we follow Captain Mark Whitby from Afghanistan to Germany, where he gets a lot of surgery and then stays for rehab. And then till he meets this lovely, beautiful nurse and marries her. They go back, they get deployed back to Camp Pendleton in California, and he knows he's not combat battle ready anymore, and they offer him a desk job, and he was a Marine for 20 years. He was a lifetime Marine, and his whole family was military, and he was very highly decorated, and he just couldn't see himself being a desk jockey. So he leaves the service, and he is now married, and he tries a number of jobs. He just couldn't adjust to it. He had no family. His father was killed on the last day. He was a jet pilot on the last day of the War of Vietnam. His grandfather was a Medal of Honor winner in World War II, and he lost total contact with his grandfather because when his father was killed, that was also the same day that Captain Mark Whitby was born. And his mother didn't want him to have anything to do with the Whitbys because they were all military, and she blamed them for his father's passing, getting shot down and got killed. Anyhow, he rediscovers his family, and it's a very upbeat story, and it'll make you cry. It will also make you laugh. It will give you a great feeling. But the significance of When All Else Fails, Sell is based upon Og Mandino. If you don't know who Og Mandino is, he's one of the great writers of all time. He wrote The Greatest Salesman in the World, and it's spiritual, it's caring, and it gives the person, I'm trying to motivate and all the good principles to understand that selling is a noble profession. It's an outstanding profession. And I give all the selling principles that are woven into the story about being a good person. Don't sell something that you wouldn't buy yourself. Watch your cash flow. I give basic business principles, and I give a lot of principles that follow the Ten Commandments. And the story is really a very warm, caring, motivational, and inspirational story. And I'm hoping through the story that somebody doesn't get bored. They read the story, has a beginning, a middle, and an end. They enjoy the story, but I'm also, through the story, teaching them the principles of selling. You know, salesmen sometimes get a bad rap, especially car salesmen. You know, sometimes you say something, you say, oh, he's a car salesman. Well, if something isn't sold across the whole globe, that something never will happen. In other words, something always has to be sold to get out to the public. And selling is a noble profession, and it's really, and it really is not a difficult job to get, not a difficult profession to get a job in. It's a matter of what level you'll go. Surely somebody highly qualified will go on a higher level. Somebody who's coming in to a company and has to do an entry level, he's going to get a lower. But if you keep in selling your total integrity, and you don't give up, and you work hard, you can't lose. So that's delighted to also say about 2 weeks ago, I finished the screenplay on the book. When All Else Fails, Sell. It was published by Reader's Digest. If anybody wants the book, I suggest they contact Reader's Digest directly or go to Barnes & Noble, and I'm sure they can get any one of those stores can get the book if they want. There are maybe not too many left on the shelf. They can go to Amazon and get it. And I've just finished the screenplay, and the screenplay is fabulous. I'm very proud of that work. And it already has been presented to a company that produces movies for Lifetime and for Hallmark. So I think that's a good summary of where I am with When All Else Fails, Sell, and I thank you for giving me the chance and listening to the story.
Well, I think one of the things I did read about the book is you were also saying that selling is pretty much recession-proof.
When you have a sales job, you're generally the last person to be laid off. Because without, as I said, it's a very noble profession, but at the same time, if you have a company and you have product, somebody has to sell it.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I mean, if nothing gets sold, there's no commerce going on.
That's correct.
How long has the book been out?
Book came out last May, the end of April, first week of May, and I have been in the sales world. This is my 50th anniversary. I was head of a publishing company many years ago before I joined the company called QVC, which I'll talk about in a minute. And this is my 50th anniversary, and it's a very noble profession.
Well, if you've been in sales for 50 years, that must mean you're 51 years old.
Actually, I'm 55. My mother wouldn't let me go into sales till I was 5 years old.
Ah.
No, right. I appreciate the compliment.
You brought, since Brains how you brought it up, I see that you've also been doing a lot of stuff with QVC. Could you go into that, and are you looking for any products or services that you might want to put on there and so on?
That's very interesting. Yes, we're very proud that one of our very outstanding gals, Lori Grenier, is becoming a regular on the Shark Tank. We've all heard of Shark Tank.
Right.
She has started there a little after I did. I've been there almost 24 years. And QVC is a marvelous company. They are really one of the giants of selling in the world. We have, to give you a little background, I had already finished one career as head of a publishing company for almost 20-some-odd years, and I was looking what my next stop was going to be when I left that company by choice. I had frankly enough of cash flow meetings and all the meetings and I was running 2 small public companies. So it was time to make a change. And by coincidence and accident, I ran into a bunch of nice people who were with QVC, and that was almost 25 years ago. And they told me about QVC, and actually, it's funny. I thought they were talking about CVS, the drug chain. Then I realized, oh, they sell product on TV. I didn't know. I never heard of them. I was very familiar with selling product on TV because during my publishing days, I worked with Ted Turner and did a lot of promotion on TV on Ted Turner's stations. But moving forward with the story, I investigated the company for about 3 months, and the person I met was one of the top people in the company at the time, and they were only 2 years old. And they were doing about $80 million at that point in sales, and I thought that was pretty darn good. And after investigating the company, I said, this is a company I would like to join. And I met with all the top people many times, and they offered me a major position there. And I said, no, I'd really rather be, as I call it, my language, I'd rather be a schlepper. I'm not embarrassed to sell. I don't mind selling, and I think I can bring a lot of brands in and help the company a lot. Well, they liked that a lot, and they made me one of their first ever consultants. And I'm an independent. I do not get paid by QVC. The only way I make my living is what sells on television. And the bottom line was, I told them I'd stay about 5 years, and that was 20-some-odd years ago, or 19 years ago. And they're an incredible company, and they're always looking for new product. The most important thing we have at QVC is our customer. And the second most important thing, and this is now my opinion, I was for 16 years president of a joint venture company with QVC, but I cannot speak for QVC. In my opinion, the second most important thing is giving the customer what they want. Find new and innovative products, new and good brands, and existing good brands that we can bring at the value that we like to sell our products at. We're a very upscale company. So, of course, I'm always, my partner, Deborah Kalman, who's been my partner for 24 years, is the sort of the star behind the scenes. And I always are looking for new, good products for the consumer. We really aren't into selling services. I'd really rather have products that will have traction, that we can build into a brand, or a brand that maybe is doing well at brick and mortar, and we can bring it to television. Everything at QVC is live, 24/7 live, except Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, and those are the only 2 days we're not live. And we have QVC Germany, QVC Italy, QVC UK, QVC China, and QVC Japan. And the QVC that I'm talking about in America is a state-of-the-art. Our facilities, our capabilities as good as any major network or any cable station. And we're probably far beyond a lot of them. It's an outstanding place to be able to go to work. And this little company that I joined 24 years ago that was doing $80 million, this year might report sales close to $10 billion. So we're a giant of a company. The staff is incredible. The management's incredible. And I'm having a wonderful love affair, and Deborah Kalman is having a wonderful love affair with a company called QVC. They're more than a company. They really care. So you ask me any questions you want, because if you don't, I can go on for the next hour and tell you anything and everything you want to know. I'm transparent. I'm an open book. And my theme and Deborah's theme in life is we want to help people, and anybody who wants to get into sales, or if somebody has an exciting, by all means, they can contact me, and this can be a huge opportunity for them. Lori Grenier on the Shark Tank is she's had a huge success, and obviously she's made a lot of money, or else she wouldn't be able to buy into some of these companies for a very substantial amount of money. I don't buy into companies. I work with them, and if I like it and they can get by me, they will have a good chance that they will get on QVC, because my track record at QVC is as good as anybody's in the company.
What would you say is the overall basic parameter? Let's say somebody has a product that they think would be good on QVC. Is there could you maybe say like the top 3 or 4 things that they would have to have as far as ducks in a row to even have a shot at getting on the show?
Yeah, Leslie, that's a great question. First of all, they have to have a product, not just an idea. They have to, and we don't invest in, and I'm sorry to say we do not invest into helping develop products. If I really like the product and I think it's worthy of being produced, I can bring them to investors. But it's not really what I enjoy doing. The next thing is, once you have a product, if you're already selling on a competitive channel, then I'm saying, you really shouldn't come to us. If you want to leave the other channel, but I never encourage that because I think that's poor sportsmanship. So we're really not interested if you're selling to our competitors, and that's okay. You can sell to competitors. We like to bring fresh and new products to our customers. Remember I said to you earlier, our customer is our number one priority. Then I also say, think it out. Do you think, like our demographics, I would tell the folks now, whoever reads this or hears this, is 85% are women from 45 years old and up. So you want to think of brands like our brands that we have is fashion is very strong, cosmetics very strong, jewelry is strong, also electronics is very strong. The food business is very strong. Live foods, frozen foods that we ship. Also, kitchen gadgets are very, very strong. And almost every category is strong. We're interested. But we really would encourage that the person thinks this out, that are they ready to play the QVC game? Remember, not every, and I'll explain what I mean by that, not every product succeeds. Maybe 1 out of 20 succeeds or 1 out of 10. And the airtime, I told you, is live, and it's very precious, and there's no charge for airtime. And it's important that you think it out, that you are in a financial position to, let's say you do a test and we're going to need 2,000 pieces of this XYZ program, or product, excuse me. Are you in a position to finance producing 2,000 pieces as a test? And if it works, we may want 10,000 or 20,000, and I wouldn't touch a company or somebody who comes to me unless I'm convinced that their financial situation is strong, that they can, play the QVC game. And also, you should know that if something doesn't sell, that product is returned. Are you in a position to absorb, which could be a big return, or in many cases, I would hope, a small return? And if you got by myself and Deborah Kalman, we have a very good track record. You're going to be pretty safe. But we won't take that responsibility. So I think the first thing is that you got a product that you think the consumer wants. It doesn't have to be a product that has never been in brick and mortar. We mean, of course, things like Walmart or any of the other great stores around America. That's okay. We love that. Are you still willing to come to QVC? You got to think value. If you're selling an item for $20 in Walmart, that same item we might be willing to sell on QVC, but we have to be less than $20. We have to be at your very best price because we charge shipping and handling. Walmart doesn't charge shipping and handling. So value is critical. So QVC stands for quality. That's number one. The middle name, V, is value, and then convenience. And I think I've addressed your question. If I missed the beat, please ask me another question.
You got right on it. Also, are you guys set up? I know you got to be somehow in shape or form or fashion where, somebody comes to you a product that's not in retail, and they get all this great exposure on QVC, and let's say sales are very good. Isn't the next evolution to then put that in retail?
If they're one of my clients, what I do, I look very carefully whether it's something that I may want to take them to infomercial. We definitely would want to take them to retail also, and we have all that. We reach 80,000 retail outlets. That would not go through QVC. That would go through me. See, when I work with a client, I work with them all the way, and meaning not just for QVC. Sometimes somebody comes to me and I say, maybe we'll go to QVC next. Let's start with an infomercial. And then after infomercial, we'll go to QVC, and then we'll go to retail. So there's no one easy answer, Leslie, to what you said. It really depended upon the company, dependent upon the product, dependent upon the financial strength of the company or the person. But there are many, many ways of marketing a product. And QVC is my only stop when it comes to direct television. But I have many relationships in infomercial and also at retail, major relationships, and even movies. I work with a lot of the top producers and co-producers in Hollywood. So we're, sort of an all-purpose marketing company.
Oh, very good. The when somebody wants to put a product on QVC, and aside from the information that you've already given, what would you say is probably, as far as a category goes, the top selling type products? Kitchen products?
Well, I would say the top categories is cosmetics, fashion, kitchen, and electronics. Jewelry used to be the strongest, but I would say jewelry now is like maybe number 3 or 4, but it's still a major player.
Very good.
And again, QVC is always looking for new products. That's the name of the game. I'm working on something right now with Deborah that I think is going to be a blockbuster. And we're very excited about it. In fact, I've already presented it, and they tested it, and they already said, hey, you didn't exaggerate, this is great. And we're giving them the launch to this brand new product that has been created by a veteran who was a ranger for 6 years in the Army and also in the police department in Connecticut for 20 years, and now his full-time job is his invention. And his invention is off the charts. It's going to be a huge, huge seller. We get very excited about that. It's very rewarding.
One of the things I always thought QVC might someday take a shot at is that when you take a look at Apple, they've got massive distribution through all sorts of cellular and computer stores and whatnot. But one of their biggest profit centers is the fact that they opened up their own Apple stores. And that's a major...
Yeah, so are you asking me that's something QVC should do?
Yeah.
Well, it's already done. We have stores in the mall in Minneapolis, the biggest mall of America.
Right.
And we have many stores, and we have many outlet stores.
I didn't even know they had retail.
Well, yes, we do. People at QVC are very smart.
Well, very good. How are the locations doing?
Very well.
Oh, okay.
Not only that, we have probably the biggest, most successful .com in the world on QVC.com. Used. Right. It's become a little over 40% of our total business. So
as opposed to from people buying on television, they'll go online to make their purchase? Is that what you mean?
That's right. More and more. Whatever we're selling live on television, you can see it live on .com immediately and buy it immediately right there.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yes, well, if you went to my website, you saw that, right?
Yep.
Tell me you went to my website.
Right.
Well, on my website, you saw me on QVC selling my book. As soon as you get to the home page, the first thing that pops up on my website is me on QVC selling my book.
That's right. You can't miss it. It's right on the first page when you get there.
That's right. Yeah, I was very proud of QVC for putting me on. I've been on QVC on air as a guest over 1,200 times.
Well, that's a good start.
Yes, I like it. It feeds your ego. You get a little big head, and it's. But when you have a loser or didn't do too well, you get humbled very quickly.
Okay, Dave, I think we probably pretty much covered everything.
Good.
I'd like to thank you for being on the show.
You're welcome, and I appreciate you asking me the right questions and letting me be on the show. And God bless everybody, and I do hope we have been some help to them in them seeking their career.
Okay, everybody, we've been listening to David Oliphant, and he's got his book, When All Else Fails, Sell. And I believe that's also your website, too, right? allelsefailssell.com.
Right, and I finished a baseball book. And by the way, when I got out of college and did that, I went to play baseball for the New York Yankees and for the the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Oh,
so
okay.
I have a little bit of a varied background.
All right. Also, on our webpage at Whale of an Idea, we'll have some contact information for listeners who want to contact you. Also, they can, of course, go to your website, check out your book. Very good interview, Dave. I again like to thank you for being on. And, of course, I want to remind my listeners, remember, why play with the sharks when you can swim with the whales? And, again, thanks for tuning in.